level organizations representing scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, other backward classes, the Jamaats, the Jesuit dioceses. So there are 16 Jamaats in Karnataka and there are 9 dioceses, and then there are farmers unions and women and youth. So this came about because if you remember back in March 2023, we were a year away from the general elections of 2024. It's quite oppressive if you remember, and it's feeling like doomsday was approaching soon. And some of us sort of decided that we were going to give a call that within Karnataka, because that was our opportunity, that no vote to the BJP. So that went out as a public call, and soon after that, we formed Ederu Karnataka. And then we had only 2 months, because this was the 5th of March when Ederu Karnataka was formed and given this name, and this whole christening happened on the 5th, and then soon after, we got to work not knowing what the work was. But what we did have was we had assessed the data. And so we were looking at what are the critical constituencies where we need to work. We identified 103 where the margin this way or that way was about 10,000 votes. And within those constituencies, so this is the Karnataka model, the Ederu model that we came up with in 2 months. And basically, within those critical constituencies, we looked at critical communities and neighborhoods. So when you see in the film where people are going within districts, within taluks, it's all very, it's quite pointed, it's quite sort of exactly where you go and nothing else, because there is no time anyway. Then, we're wondering, oh my God, what kind of conversations are we going to have? So that was basically saying no vote to the BJP, everyone must vote, and no dividing the vote. Now the third one was the toughest, because it's easy to say, yes, I'm not going to vote for the BJP, but who do you vote for as a bloc? You have no idea the kind of abuse the Congress sort of attracted, because they did nothing. But the people of Karnataka, I have to say, hats off to them. Because of this big picture of, that secularism has to win, and we have to defeat communalism and fascism and whatever. So people did actually take the big picture in, and that's how Karnataka. So based on that, 24 states formed the platform, and that's what you see when we talk about this part of the story, which Sunanda has been at the back of us, in front of us, beside us, all over the place, with us, and has done this wonderful job. Thank you.
But I think it's the film is beyond the Ederu Karnataka campaign, and it's really a tribute to all the movements that have happened over the past so many years. I'll give you an example of how these movements kind of take us in the flow. Like, as a filmmaker, how do I get into it? So, there is a shot of this woman where they're walking through the forest, where she's talking to us about the Forest Rights Act that they were fighting for. So we met her in the morning and we were filming with her, and in the meetings, like she seemed to me like a very housewife kind of person, and she's very quiet and gentle, and she didn't say much at these meetings. And in the evening she said, okay, let me take you to see the lights of Sringeri. And while she was walking, she said, I was in jail for 2 years, So these movements, these women and these men who live very ordinary lives have been part of a lot of these very strong movements that have shaped the political landscape of specifically Karnataka. So not only that, but of course, so there is the whole Dalit movement, there's Basavana's movement, there's the feminist women's movement, land rights and forest rights act. So yeah, that was a big part of the film. Yes, so in a way, it's a tribute to all these movements, all these people movements that I feel are also the hope for the future.
Basava. that movement by and large has supported.
Really like the guy at the end said, those who really support Basava will not support the BJP, you know. But the thing is that the Lingayat movement has also got, the BJP has managed to eat into that, you know, and has drawn away a lot of the Lingayats into the Hindu fold. So I think Edelu Karnataka also while campaigning was trying very hard. They had a pamphlet on Baswarna's Vachanas, and they were using that as a medium to reach out to people, the Lingayats. So one of them, they did play a role in that. But that's a long battle, and it is going to take some time to bring back Baswarna. Now Baswarna is a lot among the Dalit communities and the people of the lower economic class. The ones who've done well for themselves have been absorbed into the Hindu mainstream. That's good.
Karnataka has been the sort of the place in the south where it's their gateway to the south. It has been considered, and coastal Karnataka is actually the lab, if you like. Very difficult to break through, and you're right. I mean, if they have succeeded mostly and early on, it has been Karnataka. So the fight there is much more on the front line, and it's not won yet at all. And now with SIR and the whole thing sort of up and down now and all over the place, it is very tough. But 2024. When it said that report that came out, it was because by the fourth phase, we thought things are going to go very wrong with the counting and so on, and that's why we had this campaign that voters will must prevail, and that's how there was this Vote for Democracy came out with this report at the end, basically saying 79 seats were stolen. This was based on ECI data, on Election Commission's data, which they have not acknowledged till now. And it took 1 year for the political parties to actually catch up with that because they refused to accept it too. But it's true. I mean, but let's be absolutely clear that with the special intensive revision, it is clear that they know that they have lost popular support and they have to fix the vote.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, we know where we are. They know where they stand. Whether we are going to do something about the way they are acting is the question now, sort of looking forward.
And they have
now with every election, or with maybe if not in that particular state, election in different states, the voters, the citizens, I'm not talking about us, we are in our AC rooms, the citizens are demotivated to vote in the next election, and also there's no movement happening, inflation's happening, unemployment is crazy. How do you tackle that for the next election, or how do you tackle that every month, or how would you go about it?
So just to start with the fact that even through this this platform we have, which is called All India Mission 24, which is the 24 states, we worked together on each elections. We worked in Telangana, we worked in Bihar more recently, and so on. Now the thing is, it's quite apparent to everyone that like for instance Bihar is so low right now that you can't actually say, come on now, let's get up and do something. But you have to just give it time, right? When it comes to the SIR, I mean, we are now in the middle of a campaign, which basically is we have to create our own baseline over voter list. Which is basically, I mean, I don't want to get into the technicalities of it, but basically at the Gram Sabha level, you reconstruct the voter list. I know it's a huge job, but we have to do it because nobody else is going to do it. And it has to be done. And it is only us, if we realize what's at stake, which is what happened in Karnataka, by the way. So, this is really active citizenry. It's not like a bunch of us can go and make a Sangathan and do the job. Those days are over. This is about what is our, minimum core program as a citizen. That time has come. And it's no party. I mean, I'm not talking about the BJP. That voter list that is fixed tomorrow can be used by any party against us. So make no mistake that, oh, some other party will come and we will all be, hunky-dory and everything will be fine. No. We have to know, they have to know that we are in charge. We are right now missing. So this is the campaign, Yeah, please.
Rimsha, to answer your question, what I saw in the election campaign is that the minority communities, especially the Muslims, had really come together very, very powerfully. Like they say, like Tara says, is that they managed to get 80% of the women to vote. And I met this lady from Telangana, and she was talking about how do they do that. It was very simple. They would have these large community kitchens, and they would cook on the day of the election. Besides doing all the other work to mobilize the voters, they would cook, they would provide the women the food, so that they didn't have to sit in their kitchens and cook, and they could go and vote. So each community, the Christian community, the Jesuit community, they had all figured out ways to get the voter together and to go there and vote. So I found that very, very powerful. It was very simple because always community organizations, people organizations are struggling with lack of funds, lack of resources. People are working hard day and night. But these are some of the things that I found very, very heartwarming in the process. So, yeah.
So on the top of it, when you say the voters are stolen, votes are stolen, so what if continuous statement is being created that votes are being stolen? What they will think? Because anyway they say that our votes are not counted. So if you say again that votes are being stolen, so will they again get nervous, never go to the vote, then what will happen?
So, we can only go by what's really happening. So we have only one example, which is Bihar. We went, Edelu Karnataka worked in Bihar, I was in Bihar. But the point is that people are showing up to vote and not finding their name. Yeah. And people are even curious, मेरा नाम कहाँ है? Yeah. और इस बूथ पे नहीं है और उस बूथ पे नहीं है, कहाँ है मेरा नाम? So, and it's not sunk in yet. But if your vote is not there, you're going to lose your citizenship soon. Meaning, आपको कोई हक नहीं है. So today, as of today in 12 states, and on 14th of February when it is finalized, you are going to have a disenfranchised 6.5 crores around there. And the fact that what's going to happen there is no mudda. The politics of mudda is dead. क्योंकि इनको कुछ बोलना ही नहीं, अरे बोलो कुछ भी बोलो. The government is choosing its voter. The voter is not choosing the government anymore. Right? So this is the game we have to get into to turn this around.
I had a question. Right. In your journey of being on ground, both of you, and like really speaking to people, what are you seeing as some of the reasons that this happens? Since 1985? So it's been like 41 years now. What is
the message has to be clear from the people, and most states we don't have that. कौन आता है बाहर? And civil society organizations are not unified. In Karnataka they are. There is that unity. That we have to have. We are fighting against this megalomaniac.
That since in 2024 in January, the Ram Mandir was inaugurated in a way, and that had been their agenda ever since the Rath Yatra. So, ever when you went to the BJP strongholds, did you find any other conversation? What's going to be the next agenda?
We saw Jignesh in the film, who are in Congress. There's Kanhaiya, there's now Kannan Gopinathan. So they are, at least they have drawn,
Yeah.
they have tapped young people who could take it forward, but I don't know why it's not moving in.
We're hoping that 2026 is.
And I was really impressed by how much energy there is in the film, So we're moving towards something disappointing, but you manage to convey hope through that, because it is hopeful. And like you said, I mean, the film is called Sangama because all these streams of people who've been working on the ground are coming together. And when you spoke about those community kitchens, I said, wo film mein hona chahiye tha. Which brings me to my question. I'm just wondering, how much material did you have from which you've managed to edit this moving in both senses
We
film,
had about 70 hours of footage, and a lot of which I had to shoot because the usual budget constraints. and
Right,
all that.
right. I was
There were-
looking for the camera credit,
Yeah.
but I missed
so
it.
there was a young guy who bought the whole thing.
Member of Parliament and Assembly, an MLA, accountable for his or her constituency and what they deliver. We do annual report cards and so on. Then hopefully the kind of people who want to join politics might change, because you have to be accountable. तुम्हारा ये धंधा नहीं चल रहा है यहाँ पे. This is what is our job, as people.
Because they figure out from your questioning which side you're in and all that. But I also used a bit of light teasing way of talking, and I was focusing on the young boys. And then I got that fantastic bit with the guy. He's actually an embroidery worker from West Bengal, and he was coming there just for some entertainment, and some auntie put a shawl on him, that scarf of the BJP on him. So I thought he was going to vote for the BJP, and then he turned around and told us. So that was a really wonderful scene. But that happened only because I was alone. If I had a crew with a sound and a camera person, I don't think I would have got that conversation.
Shoot, as in, there was one moment right at the beginning where you had to put the camera down, but the voice is there.
Yeah.
Similarly, as in, were there any hindrances? I've been shooting across projects. Were there any problems in general?
No, not really. I mean, sometimes, the one incident in early on, and I don't know whether it comes across very clearly, but Ashwini, who's in the car, who you see in the beginning, she is one of the Dalit activists. And she keeps, when she's traveling, she'll stop, talk to a bunch of young people, and, so these guys were slightly doing masti. And they had said that they found this baby monkey, and they were kind of cremating it there, and that is where there's some temple and all the stuff happens. So she warns them, saying that it's going to backfire on us, and that's why she doesn't want us. She didn't want us to capture their faces and the thing. Lost the people. So we had decided early on, at least I decided early on, to foreground the voices of women, and that I found was very, very. It changed the complexion of the film in a way, because one is women's voices are never heard in politics, and secondly, the women. What I noticed, which I didn't expect actually when I thought we would be foregrounding their voices, is that they were very light in their expression, giggling and laughing and not serious, and it was so nice. And and of course their articulation is always connected to daily struggles of survival, which I found is what is really important. So for me, those things, going through that, meeting Basavarna in Kalburgi and his vachanas, and being exposed to that, it opened up many avenues to understand politics and to kind of frame the film. So and also Karnataka is a wonderful state to travel in.
How did you fund such a mass people movement, and how do you think about that? And the other one is, what keeps you hopeful?
What keeps
You hopeful. Why do you stay in it?
Money came from individuals. We all gave. Whoever could give, salaried people, inheritance money, all sorts of things went into it. We did the assembly elections with a budget of 1.2 crore. And then in that, half of it was in kind. So we were able to collect 60 lakhs, and then The rest was all in kind. People giving with food and cars and all the printing.
We fight elections in a presidential way, but technically it's a parliamentary type of democracy, which Shashi Tharoor sir has also stated many times. So my question was only if you guys encounter anything, any restlessness among them, what do we do next, like Christian Janam Bhoomi and all that stuff.
I mean, we all have to be aware that Ayodhya jama nahi. अयोध्या में ही नहीं जमा. नहीं, it is a fact. क्योंकि लोग जो वहाँ पे कैंपेन कर रहे थे, we had a strategy meeting where people came from UP. उन्होंने कहा सब जगह भरे अयोध्या हो गया, and they said यहाँ तो कुछ जमा ही नहीं.
They lost that seat, right?
And then they lost it. So we also should not overreact to all these things. ये हमारा भी overreaction है ना कि अरे मंदिर, अरे वहाँ हो क्या रहा है जरा पूछिए तो. मथुरा का अगर अयोध्या नहीं जमा तो मथुरा जमेगा, हमारे बिना तो नहीं जमेगा. हम जितना बात करते हैं ना उसके बारे में, that is also a factor. I'm just saying that we feel it's bigger than it is my sense. And for now, no, there is no.
No, but when you ask them, they don't seem to, like I was talking to the youth, and when you really ask them, what has Modi done or what has Tejasvi Surya done, they kind of shake their head and they say some road or some. So they don't really know, but they're going with the fervor of the Hindutva propaganda.
You talk about in the film the disconnect between the leading opposition party, the Congress, and the civil society movement that is, well, the Congress should have understood that this is going to help us. But there's this big disconnect, and it's not true only in Karnataka, it's true in Maharashtra, it's everywhere. Whoever was trying to ensure that the right-wing forces don't come to power face this block from the opposition party, I mean the main opposition party. So what are your thoughts about how that bridge can be a better bridge?
No, so post 2024, we have something called Mission 2027, which right now is not 2027 because it is end of 2026. We are all nicely sorted. It was sort of saying campaigning in peacetime because there were no more elections. So in that, we've sort of, from day one actually, we've fought with the Congress. State accountability is one of our goals, along with sort of raising 100,000 people who are called defenders of the Constitution, and of course this thing about how do you build a mass movement across the nation, and then we have a cultural team which does its own work. So it is very hard. The Congress, I mean, we get first-hand, our experience has been with the Congress, and the Congress is Karnataka Congress and then the High Command. I mean, it's not a discipline, it's not a party with any discipline, you see. And everybody is doing these little fiefdoms of their own. In Karnataka, it's even worse. So, I mean, it's a day-to-day struggle. We are fighting with them over land allocation on this because we want them to actually, we're taking their manifesto and we're telling them, do these 5 things. Because you bloody well do it by 2027 because in 2028 we have an election. So we are determined we are going to make them deliver for 2028. But you see, this is the relationship which is dead. There is no relationship between the citizenry and a political party. We have to revive that. We are asking you to be accountable to us. हमने आपको वोट दिया है. आपने कहा आप ये करोगे. अब करके दिखाओ. That is a relationship which is work in progress.
This another movie by Kasturi Basu called Bid for Bengal. I was just wanting to hear from you whether in your experiences and with Bid for Bengal, have there been any similarities or massive differences?
You're going to leave this country to them. I mean, we have no other home but this one. So there is no question that they are going to win. It's a matter of time when they lose. That may be so, but never.
On to that. You don't, kind of. So I came across, A.K. Ramanujan has done some very good translations of Vasudhan's Vachanas. And this, the rich shall build temples, but what shall I, a poor man, do? It's perfect. No, you don't need anything else. You don't need to say Ram Mandir is not important. And that she sang as a song.
You have been in the campaign and while you were filming, BJP is a very well-oiled election machine. So particularly when you went to the constituencies when the margin was a critical margin, over there did you see any kind of them being in action, because they are very perceptive of these places?
I think that, after the 2024 elections, now we have a whole new strategy which goes on to 2027. No, ours is a 20-year timeline. And we divided into the sort of the rational segment. So this segment was then about 2029 and then 2028 is Karnataka elections. And so how are we going to actually build up to those two elections? Now, of course, we have to rethink that. But so we are continuing. We have not stopped. Organizations have their people right there, so the teams are made up by them. So we are not, we are not out there. We are having our meetings in somebody's house or in some small hall or something. So, apart from one instance during the 2023 elections, where at a booth we were attacked in Bangalore South. And it was registered as an FIR and all that. We have not had. We don't want to go there. We are not interested in, as we say, we are not interested in the 35 or 38%. We are only interested in where is the other, 62, 65%. And we want to work with them. Aadhaar and caste census, so they know exactly who is who, how they vote, and they are using it for their SIR to weed out voters. All that's happening. The caste census on its own has no traction on the ground. Although the Congress keeps on saying this is the information to do work, but which Congress government is doing any work? And if they are not communicating. So I don't think we shouldn't talk about caste census. We don't talk about caste census. Not that way, not as a campaigning thing. Because there's nothing in it. People will say, and so, theek hai, mera naam aa gaya, you know my identity and all that, and yes, I'm part of this percentage of the population and so on, and so what? I've never got anything. So, we've not come to the point, and they have also not come to the point, how are you going to use this caste census? Because it's not a very efficient government to start with.
Access to the BJP workers. And also, I didn't want to be there, but I did. Maybe she. But we did it with Ashwini and this Kadarsa. We did an interview earlier, which is not there in the film, where they talk about the whole Aland, which came up now in the 2023 Assembly election, where they had got an organization to register voters, and steal the votes. So a lot of the actual voters, their names were not there, and it was they lost by Congress lost by a very small margin, and it went to the BJP. So that came out recently, the Anand thing. So they talk about how underhand these things are, and also we saw in Kalburgi the riots that happened. So they're
pushing.
They didn't call it caste census, they called it social economic.
Yeah, whatever. But do you think, as somebody who works at the ground level, that this has the potential for being useful? In the sense, because my fear is that the BJP is far better equipped to use the data that they collect from caste census to hone their approach.
We talked about it, how the reason why BJP has gained a lot of
based in Karnataka is also the RSS historically, it's since 1980s, they have done these year-round social mobilizations, right? So I was wondering, is EDELU Karnataka also doing something non-electoral, like social campaign throughout the year right now? That is one question. Another completely different question about the film's style. The music seemed to be like a huge bridging between different themes. So if you would like to talk more about the songs that were shared, that you shared, and the importance of them.
Yeah, the song. So a lot of protest movement, lot of people's movements use songs. Women's movements, Dalit movements, they use songs to bring people together, to share ideas and ideologies. So the one you see of the women singing, both A Brave New World and the Walk with Beam, Walk with Booty. They're different films, but they're both campaign films, and they both are looking at no vote to BJP. So in a way, but when I was filming, so Kasturi had shared a really nice thing that they had done in Cal. They had done these large rangoli or paintings on the roads. It's a beautiful picture. I still have with no vote to the BJP. So actually, I was looking at how in the film I can segregate the campaigning and then the voting.
This is the fight of our lives, right now. I mean, I know we've been thinking this since 2014, but this is the moment where we either belong, or somebody decides we belong or we don't, and whether we participate or we don't. And the only one thing they are scared of, which was very clear from the Aravali issue, that they are so scared of us collectivizing and coming onto the streets. So don't forget, you are not nothing, you are everything. And we all need to remember, if you have a vote today, you may not have it tomorrow, but you have it today. So use it, not just to vote, but vote on your feet for the time being. Because we will all have to do this to win this one. So let's get cracking. Thank you.